find out you're going to be at the bubble. How do they inform you on the logistics of the bubble? You get an email, you get a phone call. They tell you, here's how things are going to work when you're here.
It was a combination of both, but honestly, the information flow was slow, but it was really hard for everyone involved because the NBA is putting out their protocols, then they're dishing it out to TNT and ESPN, who we were both involved in the bubble, and then they were figuring out their own separate game plans and then trying to tell us what it was going to be like. So the information flow is very slow, but I can give you an overall breakdown of kind of how it worked for us, what our protocols were.
Yeah, let's do that. And like where the players were, where you were, the whole thing, how they do it.
Yeah. So, so there was 3 different levels of quarantine or of bubble, if you will. There was one level, which is the true bubble, which is where the players were and where any like NBA, TNT, or ESPN staff that had to be on the floor level with the players. So they were in the true bubble, which was secured perimeter. You couldn't leave. You couldn't do anything but go from your hotel to the arena by bus. That was it. So, what was your prediction about how that was going to be?
I said the NBA bubble was going to be a whorehouse / frat house.
I hope we can spin that one back. I hope we can spin that one back.
Like they're not going to sneak. I think we were talking about this. Like,
Yeah,
you know, we're not going to sneak in like vagina into like the NBA bubble.
I think the NBA bubble is going to be a frat house / whorehouse
in Florida.
Yeah.
But so no, that did not happen. That did not
happen.
happen. They were very strictly guarded. There were a few instances of bubble breakages.
Bubble breakages.
Yeah, there was one dude that one NBA player. He did a Uber Eats.
He just did an Uber
He
Eats.
did a Uber Eats and like say the boundaries right here. He crossed like 6 feet over to get his Uber Eats, and they busted his ass. He had to quarantine for 7 days.
Oh my God! To grab his fucking bag of food.
His bag of food. Yes. So
that dude just was really sick of the food that they had on campus.
That was early on.
He couldn't go without his like whatever the fuck Whataburger.
I
for
know
like
his Taco Bell.
Yeah.
One dude with the Rockets, he got busted. He banged one of the testing chicks.
Oh yeah, good for him.
Yeah, but he got busted. They sent his ass home because we did a Rockets game and he was mysteriously missing. He was like a low-level player. He was a low-level player.
It was an expensive lay though.
Yeah, I don't even know if I guess he got fined. He probably did.
Yeah.
But so those were the main breakages from them. Otherwise, I think they were pretty tight about it. And they got tested every day.
They tested him every day?
They tested them every day. And then we were in a level where we were at a different hotel, and basically we were allowed to go. We followed the NBA protocol, which is we could go anywhere on a Disney World campus property.
Did you ride any rides?
No, because none of them were open.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wish we could have ridden some rides. I was hoping that the whole time. I was like, man, I hope they just open it up one day for us.
Just
for us.
Just staff
just
it up
for
once.
us. But actually, I think they were open, but you had to have season tickets, this and that. And then there's Disney Springs that had some restaurants and stuff we could go to. There were some stores on the site. So we had a little bit of leeway to do some stuff. We could order Uber Eats, we could order Instacart, and we were staying at the Waldorf Astoria, which is a super dope hotel. It's really nice. They have a sick pool, they have a nice gym, and I was in a room with a king size bed, but it was like just a hotel room with a king size bed. So after by day 80, I was like, it was kind of maddening. It was a little bit maddening just to walk back into the same room again and again.
And just you're working all the time.
And going back to the same TV compound again and again and again. But not to complain about it. I was happy to be back to work. It was great. But it was a little mind numbing by the end of it.
I mean, it's nothing you had to do before. It's, it's different.
The best part of it was we did 47 games. We only had to strike once, baby.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of hours and strikes, man.
Yeah, strike sucks. So anyways, it was nice to just walk off and walk away. But it was weird, too, because Turner, they were staying in the same hotel as us, TNT. But they had different guidelines. Like they couldn't go to the gym. They couldn't go off site outside of the hotel. So it was just kind of weird. And then there was people like they were cycling people in and out, like broadcasters and stuff would come for like 2 weeks at a time and leave. But they would have to quarantine when they come in, take a test, blah, blah.
And so when they're quarantining, they're just kind of isolated into a particular area, hotel room, whatever.
You have to stay in your hotel room. So you basically show up, like for me, I showed up on the night of the July 10th, the morning of the 11th, I got my test, and then I quarantined all day, and then the next morning I got my result and I could go to work. And so that's how that worked. In the real bubble where the players were, that level, they had to quarantine for 7 days, and then they could go into work. Did
they have 0 cases of COVID?
Yeah, there was no cases that I know about.
They did work.
They had a tight ship. They ran a tight ship. They did it really well. I was pretty impressed about it, and it was as good as it could have gone.
Yeah, I mean, to organize something as big as the NBA into a specific area with all those players, all that staff, all that crew, and to go through an entire season plus playoffs, whatever, and then have 0 cases is pretty impressive.